Okay, so you know science, physics talks about particles all the time. It's all it ever talks about is particles. Particles are too small. If you're looking at particles, you're not going to see the whole model because the energy is not in the particles. The energy creates the strength that holds the particles in one place. So position and momentum. And so the main question that's troubled mankind since we became intelligent, since Galileo, is what stops the planet flying apart. So we have a round planet. The Greeks proved that at the moment we're a spherical planet with the angles of the suns and the wells and the certain times. Now I can't see a way that flat Earth can explain that, so it's a round Earth, spherical. And so people from Galileo onwards, they were asking why doesn't the planet fly apart? And it's shell theory, membrane theory, AEH Love, 1892. So Love in 1892, a guy from Weston-super-Mare, a very intelligent professor from Weston-super-Mare, is suggested by his friends to write a history of the theories of elasticity. Because it's elasticity that stops the planet flying apart, isn't it? If you have a planet with a shell membrane of its tectonic plates, and you assume an expansion at the center, then you assume a viscous pushback. You can see it's the elasticity of the tectonic plates that resists the expansion at the center. And so they knew the expansion came from the center. The idea was to try to work out what causes that expansion and what's the balancing factor. Because when you take that model, you can see that the atmosphere is surface tension. The atmosphere itself of the shell, the membrane, the shell of the planet at tectonic plates has a surrounding meniscus, doesn't it, of the atmosphere. And then beyond that is space. So our Goldilocks zone of our cavitation, our single cavitation of the atmosphere, the singularity, is the final viscous pushback at the center of the planet. Now, what science does by saying that the universe is expanding and accelerating, it accounts for that expansion at the center from the outside. It says it's not coming from the center, it's the universe pushing back on us so hard that it compresses everything. So everything that we see, every piece of matter, all the planets, and then they assume the galaxies and the black holes are all held together by this same idea of the universe pushing from the outside in, because they say there's no center to the universe. But what pushes back? Dark matter, dark energy, bullshit. They've just switched your mind so that you don't see the perspective of the center of the planet anymore. You forget that the planet even has a center, a dot point. You know that there's heat in there, and that's all science cares about. It says it's the compression of the universe pushing into everything, every piece of matter all over the galaxy, all over the entire universe is compressed by this same magical force that just exists. No. The Earth is the center of the magnetic rotation of the universe, and everything gravitates here, and everything is a sphere from around us. What we observe of the planets is the collapsed dot points of light. The strength of the planet is its orbit around us, hence why Saturn is the stability of the universe right now, and it steals from us because we should be the center, the exact center of the universe. And it's a bubble of water, cymatics and sonoluminescence, that a bang is created when a spark of light occurs in water. When water goes out, okay, here's the experiment. When you have water, a bubble of water, and you cymatically vibrate the water, the bubble will go out, and it goes out with a flash of light. So the cavitation vanishes. The last thing it does is emits a flash of light because the sound is in the water. The water is vibrating harmonically, sonically. And so the reason there's a flash of light is because it's the light that holds everything together. And we've just, by using sound and harmonic, you've brought the harmonic of the action of the instant into the moment, so you see the flash of light. Normally you can't see it because it's going on at a moment of consciousness. You have to extend it through sound. And so it proves that the Earth is the center of the universe. You get it? So Galileo's problem was that when he found all the wandering stars around the sun, somebody decided to lump in the Earth with the wandering stars and assume we're one of them, and we're not. We're the center. The sun goes around us, and all the planets are her moons. So the sun goes around us, the center of the universe, and come out from the center to this cavitation layer, the singularity. And you can see there is compression from outside. Of course there is from the universe, massive. Everything that science tells us, Einstein stuff, is the compression from the outside. But what it doesn't see is the rotation at the inside, because because Einstein's finite. You need infinite. You cannot normalize infinities, you morons. You can't do that because they exist. And so you just bring them into vortex mathematics, where everything is deterministic, yeah? And infinitely deterministic. A twin vortex mathematics, and that was described by Levy in 1915. So that's the physics you've already got, physics. Yeah, that's the physics that you have. And I'd like us to have it, engineers, please, because then we can fix the planet, because that's what's wrong with us. The planet's compressing. The planet should be expanding. In each moment's duration, Planck's constant, the planet expands from 0 to 9.81 meters per second squared. It doesn't actually expand. Its speed expands. Its vector potential expands. Victor Levy, 1906, proving that the collision of rigid bodies, there is something happens before the rigid bodies actually touch each other, vector potential, and that speed is adjusted before position. The momentum is carried. That happens in the atmosphere. So that collision of a rigid body, just before the moment of collision, is occurring in our atmosphere. So you already know. And I want to know the truth. Please, somebody in science, listen to me. Look at Dr. Levy, reference it to the PCA, 1993. Speak to Augustus fucking Dommel and his chum Golgate, perhaps. Professor Dommel is the key here. Ask him about the theory that holds his book together, yeah? An engineer, he was on 9/11. Crime, motherfucker, crime. See you in court. Follow the Rebel King.